Back. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We have such sights to show you.
Who's laughing now?
God, you crazy. I'll kill you all. I'm the greatest nightmare you've ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
They're here.
Boom, there we go. How's everybody doing?
To do the devil's work.
I love that one.
I was just sitting here thinking, like, if you're the devil, how are you? I mean, well, I guess I get it.
I say that every single time I walk into, like, I'm the cleaner. I'm here to do cleaning work.
I always say, this bathroom is clean.
That's actually a line.
Yeah, exactly.
From, that line, the one that's saying it is from The Devil's Rejects, but it actually comes from the Manson murders of dang, what is her name? The actress Sharon Tate murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said that to one of them, one of the accomplices, not Manson, because he wasn't there at the time. But they said that while doing the murders, like, why are you doing this? I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work, and that is terrifying. Like, especially if you see like a hippie all dirty and gacked out on drugs, that's gonna happen. It's gonna be scary.
Just go a couple blocks from wherever you live, and you'll find one.
That's true.
Because unfortunately, the homeless problem is really bad right now.
Yep.
It is. And Frankie would like to know why Lauren looks so natural and comfortable holding a skull in the intro.
Because I'm imagining it's yours, sir.
Oh.
That was solid. That was solid.
Right there.
And Timothy, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Everybody out there, hope you're having a great day. But we've got some stuff that is only for the nighttime. Spookiness galore. The spookiness will intensify by the end of this. I just want you to know that.
I hope so, because your background looks a little too happy.
Oh, it's bright. It's nice and.
Looks nice though. Not gonna lie, looks nice.
I'm
even though I
enjoying
can't swim.
Yeah, we got to work on that still. Oh my goodness.
No, we don't.
I don't want you to drown. Anyway,
hey, whatever happens, happens. We let nature take its course, right?
There's nothing natural about that. It's just full of chlorine and
it's natural. Chlorine's natural. Just concentrate.
I don't know if there's any science to back that up. It's like, I don't know. I just went back to work. My co-workers are lame and lamos. Thank you, Frankie. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, yes. Anyway, yes, paranormal coming at you guys. We each have 3 different topics, all related to the ghosties and the demons, or the what have yous, whatever you want to consider them, whether you're a believer or not. They're all really interesting stories still. Like, if you feel skeptical, even if you're like completely against the idea that there's something else out there as far as like spirits go, you can't deny that sometimes very interesting stuff. So I hope you will enjoy that as well. But before we do any of that, before we get to any ghosts or apparitions or lens flares or whatever people want to call them, if you believe or not, we have some stuff we need to do, like a would you rather.
Yes, we do. All right. So, would you rather be seen and not heard, or heard and not seen as a ghost. So you're already dead. And then you get to haunt whoever you want. You get to be wherever you want in the world, whatever. But they can either hear you and not see you, or see you and only hear you. So you can say whatever you want, and they can, it just, whichever you choose.
I would say not be able to hear me because I can still sign twat waffle. I'll just use all the inappropriate signs and shit. I'm gonna go haunt all the deaf motherfuckers. That's what I'm gonna do.
Wow. So not only can they not hear, but now they have to deal with Joe making fun of them from the grave.
It would be an honor to be haunted by Joe. You shut your mouth.
True. Watching Kung Fu Zombie. That is a song. Richard joining in, watching. I just got done watching Kung Fu Zombie. Awesome. Goody checking in. How you doing? Frankie says tough one. I think I would rather be heard and not seen, so I could just completely be like a slob of the ghost realm, But then like go in someone's ear like one day, and then like, all right, I'm done for the day. I got my work in. I scared someone.
My dog goes up to old ladies and he farts and like runs off.
Yeah. Or like when a guy's hitting on a really pretty girl and it's like going okay for him, then I would do it. And like, oh, you're screwed now, buddy.
Oh, that'd be a hilarious movie.
That actually would. Like this guy's being haunted by a ghost and he can't get laid because the ghost is ruining his life.
the Amityville cockblocker. Yeah.
It's like a guy who it's like what's that one? I'm kind of thinking of that Matthew McConaughey movie where it was like it was kind of like that one Christmas movie. Fuck. Where they like the ghost. Where like it kind of like Scrooge. Where like the ghost comes back and like takes him to show him how much of a jerk he was to like all the girls that he dated.
Something Ghost of Girlfriend's Past or something.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that, but it's like a Matthew McConaughey kind of guy, and the ghost is like fucking with him because he's always able to get the girl, and it's like, well, let's see how you like it, and like sabotages everything.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. Salud.
My goodness. Richard rather be heard, not seen. They never expect when he does stuff. Timothy heard, not seen. Charlie heard, not seen. The reason Miguel said Casper the cockblocker. Nice.
Yes, Casper the cock-blocking ghost.
Frank says instead of the slob of Miguel or of Earthrealm Miguel, this isn't Mortal Kombat, okay? It's not Earthrealm. All right, you're not gonna stop them from invading Outworld or whatever.
Mentality.
Yeah. Which is still a movie. You guys should watch that if you have a chance.
That movie's
You are crazy.
Like a fucking fox.
You're crazy as in a bad movie chooser.
You know what? It's great. Did you see the first one, Miguel? Did you see the original?
Yeah, I liked that one too a lot.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Same could be said about your face, Miguel.
We call it. That's, I've heard that many times. It's a lot of fun, gets the job done. In the glasses.
Touché, sir.
See you guys. There we go. All right. Cock blocking.
Well, I chose. Oh, that's good.
Sorry, I had to say that.
I wasn't sure which one I wanted to choose because, I mean, I guess maybe heard because you could say whatever you want, but I guess seen, I would not choose that one because if I look how I look now, like no one would be scared of this. No one would be afraid of me.
You're fucking awesome.
My goal is to like really fuck with people and scare the shit out of them. And this is just like, some fucking hipster. Like
I'm just gonna say you guys have seen me on a Sunday morning in Vegas, okay? So I'm still good with being seen.
All right.
Miguel.
Terrible.
Stupid. I don't know. I'm not scary if you see me, but like, I don't know, maybe if I'm like, let's go 30, 40 years ahead of time. Maybe. Maybe if I die around that time.
Yeah, maybe. I get it. I think that's a pretty dang good. We got a lot of good reasons in the comments though too, and then Frank, you will save that question though because I like that one a lot for when we get started. We got a couple other things to talk about, but it's if you guys want to think about it, are dolls that walk on their own more paranormal or possession? I'll hold that in my mind grapes right now.
Ooh, I guess it depends on the movies. What movie do you like?
Which one? Or is it friggin' AI technology gone awry? Now there's so many reasons they can do stuff. Then all right, so let's get into this a little bit. Joe, I believe it's time for some strange news.
Actually, this is like an update from my strange news from last week.
Oh,
about well, I don't remember if it was my strange news or my main story. I forget. Anyway, the Kristen Smart case from 1996 in San Luis Obispo. She was abducted. They suspected this one guy named Paul Ramirez. I forget. Anyway, him and his dad were involved. Dad got out. Come to find out, I think this was like a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago. The dad bonded out, and they started saying more stuff about what's going on. Not a lot, not what we really want to know, but enough. I guess why they actually were able to arrest him and his dad was because I don't know if you guys remember last week, they actually had like cadaver dogs, and then they kind of had like backhoe operators out there like digging a trench around the house. But they didn't say if they found anything. Well, they found evidence in the ground under the patio of like human remain evidence down there, but like not a body though.
Interesting. So
what had happened was in February when they went and did like the last search, after the police and everybody had left, him, his dad, and I'm still confused on this, his dad, and his mom's boyfriend.
Okay.
Even though the mom and the dad live together, I guess she's got a boyfriend on the side, unless they misconstrued that. I don't know. But
okay.
Yeah, I guess the three of them took her body up from under the porch and moved her somewhere else. So when they were there that night, they got something and went back to the fucking police station. And then those guys were like, fuck, we got to move this body. They're going to find her. They moved the body, and then they just went back like a month ago and arrested him. And now there's no body there because they knew they were going to get fucking arrested. So now they're still looking for her body.
Damn.
Yeah.
So her body probably would have evidence of like how she died and stuff that would link them most likely. And
yeah.
Which obviously they already are fucking guilty because they found her remains. Like where? That's so sad. But at least they're getting closer.
Yeah. Hopefully they get the actual answers.
Right.
Because like I said, they let the dad got out on bail because he's only going to get like accessory after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really that big of a charge in comparison to like murder and all that other stuff. But I mean, it can still hold like a good amount of time, but he still has a chance to get off from that. I don't know how, but miracles have happened. So
that's crazy.
I don't know. And the mom's still saying, we had nothing to do with this. We had nothing to do with this. So
of course they're going to say
whatever. So yeah, so there was an update on it. So
damn.
Yeah, it blows my mind how people can try to lie, and when it's that clear that you're guilty, it blows my mind. Yeah, blows my mind. A couple of comments here. They'd be like, "Oh, look, a Lauren Martin ghost How cute. You want a cookie, little ghost. That is, yes, hilarious.
And that's when I kick you in the shins and run away.
Boom.
I can't eat cookies, fucker. I'm dead. And like run away.
Yeah.
Knocking over shit on the way.
Fuck. Oh my god. I changed my answer to scene. I want to be a fat naked ghost someone sees while I'm scratching my ass, looking through the fridge at 2 a.m. I like that. And yeah, Richard says that the ghost who could communicate being seen or being seen, not heard. You got to be good with sign language and Pictionary. I am not the best of Pictionary players, so definitely I need to be heard, not seen. Yeah, that's some stuff to think about, guys. You got to think about your afterlife goals, all right? Them 1,000-year plans. Because
I gotta make goals after this too. Fuck.
Never stop working.
The eternity will.
You got to get a hold of like Zach Baggins or someone who already has the infrastructure. Like, dude, you pay me $2 million now. When I die, I will come haunt whatever you want me to haunt. I will give you the first like 500 years exclusivity. You can pass that along to whoever's next. Go ahead.
Let me send my soul over right now. He probably does collect souls. That dude collects so much shit.
It's true. He has a lot of
much shit. He's got the museum. He's bought in property. All kinds of stuff.
I would too. I would love to do something like that. Although we're gonna go into a couple of his things today, actually, because I have. My topic kind of overlaps with that a little bit. But before we do that, we've got one last thing to talk about, and that is deaths we can laugh at. So let's do it.
All right. So in 1982, in New Zealand, in their army, it's the Waiōuru camp. I had to Google translate that one because I was like, what? Waiōuru camp. The officers were kind of having some problems with their cadets. 4 of them were sent to confinement in the barracks. And that wasn't a good idea because it's almost like leaving kids at church camp alone in the cabins. They're just going to wreak havoc and do whatever the fuck they want. So these guys left to the training area. They left the barracks, and they weren't supposed to. They left the barracks to the training area, and they came across the M203 grenade launcher. These are real grenade launchers, okay, for training. So the leader decided that he was going to fuck around with some unexploded rounds that he found. And his last words, because there's always a last word, the last words were, "Hey, fellas, look at this." Takes the grenades and cracks them together.
Smart.
He explodes. And the 3 of them suffered shrapnel injuries, but they ended up being okay. But, yeah.
Man,
Hey,
these
fellas,
are
look at
special ass people in the world. Oh, this is why we need mental health in the world. We need mental health facilities like now.
So you're saying he's the ghost that you can see and not, or you can hear and not see anymore. That's like for
Probably.
sure. Damn.
It's in pieces. It's all floating around in a lump.
Someone find my kidney, please. Oh.
He's like the kid in Charlie and the Chocolate, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. These little particles get transferred over through the air.
Oh, shit.
That's him.
Yes. That was awesome.
The television part or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
That's too
That's going to be a thing one day.
Hey, Chrissy, how you doing?
Hey.
How's it going? All right, so now we got to get into some paranormal time. And Gary, how are you doing as well? To you as awesome, sir, as well. I made it. Finally, there we go. Glad you are here. Very glad you are here. And it is time to get into this. Actually, no, Richard too. He had a good, a good boy. Didn't do nothing except explode.
Except explode.
Except explode. That's that'll get you in trouble. Blowing up, yeah, can really be detrimental to your future. I will say that at the very least. All right, so
well, don't play symbols with grenades, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
that's solid advice. I mean, I see no way to argue with that statement right there. Don't play symbols with grenades. It's not for everyone. It's not good music. There. All right. So, are you guys ready? Who wants to take this one first?
I can go first. I have 2 short little stories.
Okay.
So, this is from a personal account a couple years ago of someone whose dad was a photographer. He stayed at a hotel in Vermont because he had a job out there. In the middle of the night in his hotel, a little white dog came into his room, and he was like, what the fuck? This little dog is in here. And then a little girl came in looking for her dog, and she sat at the foot of his bed asking if he knew where her dog went. And he's like, well, your dog ran into the bathroom, but do your parents know you're running around? She was like, no. She just gets up, walks into the bathroom after her dog. He goes in there to make sure that she finds the dog so he can escort her out to, maybe find her parents. And he went into the bathroom and nobody was there. They were gone. There was no dog. There was no little girl anywhere. And a few weeks later, the same photographer's assistant stayed at this hotel with her sister. That night, she and her sister both had the same dream that their dad came into their rooms while they were, at night. Like, he came in trying to talk to them. And the next day, they got a call from their mother saying that he had passed.
Oh, jeez.
So that's some trippy shit. Yeah. So I don't know if it's the hotel that's haunted or maybe them just traveling, a little woozy, but it's just weird that all 3 of them had a creepy experience simultaneously at this hotel. So not simultaneously, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, one common denominator. It's the same place. Yeah, because I don't know. I think hotels can be like a good conduit for that kind of stuff because so many people pass through them. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a hospital where people pass away at the hospital a lot. There are quite a few people who die at hotels. It's just kind of when you have that many people in one spot, it's bound to happen. Mm-hmm. Like the only reason people don't die at Disneyland is because they have a deal with the ambulance to take you out and pronounce you dead at the hospital. So no one is legally dead at Disneyland. So it
doesn't look bad.
Yeah, that's the only reason there's no deaths there, besides the girl who was crushed by one of the walls in one of the shows one time. And then a couple of brothers died drowning in that river that surrounds the island. What is that? Adventure Island or whatever?
The little Tom Sawyer's. They changed the name of it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. But yeah, 2 brothers passed away in there. And there are some ghost sightings that I think it kind of fits together. Like you're talking like events that happened that don't seem to relate at all until you look at the bigger picture. And now you're seeing stuff happen that makes you question quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I believe Richard is right on the money here. I think that's what we need to plan next is a meetup at a haunted hotel. 100% yes, please. I would love that. Absolutely would love that.
I agree.
What do you call it? But that's the kind of stuff I like to hear about right there. Those are I don't like to hear that their dad passed away. That was sad. But like the ghost stuff, like I think those are really interesting stories right there. Let's keep moving on with these though too. Joe, you want to go next?
Yeah. Let me grab my stuff. Actually, I did Skinwalker Ranch because I think that place is kind of cool. I'm interested a little bit more in the guy that currently owns it, but I'll get to that. Mm-hmm. Skinwalker Ranch is known for UFOs, like Wendigos and just all kinds of like mass sightings of like paranormal activity, or not mass sightings, mass amounts of paranormal activity and UFO sightings, as well as like cattle mutilation and all kinds of weird random shit. But it is the skinwalkers are basically like a cursed spirit that's based off of a Navajo legend of a vengeful shaman. I didn't want to get into all that because that's a long story too. I think we might have covered this one time when we did the urban legends or whatever.
It sounds familiar.
We might have, but I think maybe it's because it's Wendigo, because Wendigo's in a couple of things, I think.
Yeah.
Like Australia too, or something like that. Anyway. But the incidents reported include UFOs or floating orbs, mutilated or missing cattle, invisible objects that emit destructive magnetic force, and a large animal with red eyes that can withstand being shot with bullets. Since 1905, the ranch has been owned by 7 people. So almost 120 years, a little under 120 years. It's been owned by 7 people. I'm sorry. Not the last people. In 1994, the family was owned by the Sherman family only for 2 years. They turned around and sold it in 1996. When they moved in, there was deadbolts on all the doors and all the windows in the house. And some of the deadbolts were even on the outside of the windows and the doors. So it was like on both sides for some weird reason. And then they found like a big, large chain outside that looked like it was something that would hold like a large animal. I don't know. It could have been for cattle. I don't know. And they just threw it in there for sauce or whatever. But living there, they witnessed crop circles, cattle mutilation, inanimate objects moving, UFOs, as well as strange animals, they say. The UFO that they reported, they said, was bigger than 2 football fields and over 7 feet tall. And in that 2 years of living there, they lost 20% of their cattle to mutilation, some kind of random unknown mutilation.
Wow.
And then in 1990,
do we have any proof that they weren't just shitty farmers, though, too?
That's what I was thinking, too. I was like, y'all could have just been really shitty and just said, it's not like aliens are, like, overbranding them. It's the chupacabra. We don't fucking know. It's something.
Like, you think the husband, like, went out there one day, like, fuck, I let, like, 30 of them die. They just didn't eat for a week. Oh, it was my bad. It was aliens, guys. I swear to God. Oh, God, it's so bad. Oh, God.
I forgot to feed them, and they started eating each other.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Oh, it's cool. But this is where I think it starts getting kind of a little more interesting, like to kind of back up some of this stuff. Not to say that I 100% believe any of this stuff, but it's interesting enough, to make me think about it. But in 1996, when they were just like, we're done, too much weird shit's happening, they sold it to a man named Robert Bigelow, who owns the best or Budget Inn Suites, like that chain. He bought it in he bought it in 1996 for $200,000. And this is like, I think it's 512 acres for $200,000 in 1996.
Well,
I would.
Even in the 90s, like that many acres?
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, that's good, but that's a lot of property for that much money.
Yeah.
Because what is it? I'll get to it in a minute. Anyway, so the guy who owns Budget Inn Suites bought it, and then he started on the property. He started the National Institute for Discovery of Science, and that lasted until 2004 when he changed it up to Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies. Say that 5 times fast.
Good luck.
And then 3 years later, in 2007, they started a secret, unclassified government program with a $22 million budget that he got most of to investigate UFOs in a project called the Advanced Aviation Threat Detection Identification Program. So the government funded him a good portion of $22 million to research UFOs on that property.
So that's a lot of money to hand over if you think that that this is all conspiracy. That's a lot. That makes a lot
I'm
more.
just saying, it's enough to keep me interested. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Especially with all this shit, because June's coming up quick, and that's when they're gonna have all this shit out. So that's when like it's all supposed to be out.
They paid him that money to research?
Yep. In a, what do they call it? It's a secret undisclassified government program. So it's like, it's a secret, but if someone asks, you can't lie to them about it, because this is basically like, you know, obvious what's going to be going on here, because it's such a popular place. You know what I mean? Like, we can't really hide this, but just keep your fucking mouth shut. So
yeah, it's actually pretty.
Here's some money.
Yeah, whenever we give money to stuff like this, actually a lot of it you can find information on if it's not prevalent to U.S. security or something like that. There's rules like to they can hide, because there's actually quite a bit of stuff they don't hide. It's just buried under paperwork that nobody looks for, and it's hard to find.
Yeah, nobody wants to read a bajillion pages of whatever to find anything out.
Oh, God, I don't.
But it's our money. That's why we have the right to know what's going on. And I don't think people realize that either, is that like the government works for us. We don't work for the government. Just like the police, they're public servants. They work for us. We don't work for them. So.
Right. And that's why there's this whole thing with like abuse of power that's going on right now.
That's why I still find it weird that I never get any fries when pulled over. You know, it's like, whatever.
That's right.
Anyway.
But yeah, so then he started this other program with the military, or with the government. They gave him a bunch of money. And then in his, I guess he stated in some report findings, he said that UFOs seen in the area are not consistent with current military aircrafts. So he's admitting that there are UFOs in that area, and that he knows because they don't match anything that he knows of that we have military-wise, which not everybody knows what the hell we got in our military. They don't tell us. So
yeah, that's true too.
But more interesting is in 2016, so only, 5 years ago, Shell Oil bought the property. And they bought it for $4.5 million. All the roads are closed off, and they're all guarded now. So you can't even go on the property. So I think that would be interesting if the government was like, oh yeah, we've got to start checking out shit that's going on here, but we don't want people to know about it. So let's say that Shell bought it, and we just close it up and secure it and just do our thing. Like a front.
That's interesting because Shell, as far as I know, like I haven't seen a Shell station in a while. I thought we have very few bought out by like other companies. So how are they getting all this money to buy that properties and stuff? Like that's weird.
It's keeping me interested. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's a fair point. Yeah, we definitely need to keep up on this one. I agree with Richard here. The spy birds work for the government. All birds are actually not real. Birds are drones that the government made, starting a little bit before World War II, when we got the connections with the Greys and the Pleiadians. If you look during COVID and the lockdowns, there's a lot less birds out there because people weren't on the roads. I'm saying there's less birds.
Well, tell that to the birds in my backyard every day.
Maybe all the CIA spy cats ate them.
Yeah, see, they were fighting themselves, internal struggle. And now we have Joe Biden as president. So that's just, if that doesn't give you pause to think that birds are actually spy drones, I don't know what will. I don't know what will.
And now no one knows what the fuck's going on.
Nobody. And you can't even use tin foil to make a hat to protect your brain because there's no longer tin in. It's aluminum. And aluminum is actually a conductor for radio signals. It'll make it worse for you. We're doomed. We're doomed.
But we have toilet paper.
That only happens when you shit your pants when you find out everything we're saying is true, and then you're like, "What?" And then boom, just releasing the pants. So yeah, terrible. Richard said he has 2 Shell stations by his house. Yeah, I don't think there's so much a California company as much anymore. They're definitely here still, but it's a lot more. So I don't know. I want to say sold out or condensed. It's a lot less than it was for sure. But I've seen the same thing when I think about it. there are very few Shell stations compared to what I remember seeing, especially in our area.
I know we have I think we still have Shell refineries, because when my family and I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, my dad worked at Shell refinery and actually almost got blown up and killed one time. It was actually still a cool story to hear. So
we're gonna have to go into that sometime. Yeah, a buddy of mine, actually, his dad worked for Shell here in Mojave or something. They had like one of those out in buttfuck nowhere spots, one of their
like
places.
a satellite station.
And then they closed down. So he was like, well, I already made a couple million, so I'm just gonna stop working. It's like, all right, go ahead, that's good for you. But they closed down that place. So that's the last thing I remember hearing about anything Shell, because I got a lot of buddies that do oil stuff from time to time, and like, oh, that's really cool. I mean, it's awesome. It's good money. But it's always changing, and it's always like some new company owns this over here got sold to them, and it just feels like something is up with that as well. I don't know if it's conspiratorial or it's just better for people for their money, but it definitely sounds sketchy. But most businesses sketchy.
Aren't most conspiracies based around money in some way, shape, or form?
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my paycheck to be a part of these. I would like to be a part of one at least. I'll sell out. I'll start, promoting the New World Order. Just give me some money. Come on.
Oh, I don't know if I brought this up. This is something weird too, and kind of crazy and like creepy. Well, to me anyway, because I love science and I love technology. I'm fascinated and terrified at the same time by it, like constantly. It's like a car wreck I just can't look away from. But Elon Musk, this crazy fucking asshole. Did you guys see the monkey playing the video games like a couple weeks back? The video of that? There's a chip that he's put in the monkey's brain that makes it smarter. Do you guys want fucking Planet of the Apes? Because this is how you fucking get Planet of the Apes. That's all. Like, this monkey's like playing like fucking Atari and shit. I'm like,
wait. I think I got it right here. We could definitely.
Grammarly can help. This sentence.
We can take a little extra.
And then there's a cockroach one too, where like there's a chip that they put in the cockroach to like control it. But they're using it to like practice for something for humans who have like misfires for like different diseases or some shit like that, I think. I gotta go back and check it again.
Your synapses and whatnot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So does this look familiar? Is this it?
Yes.
So this
he was on Joe Rogan talking about putting chips in people's brains to like like if they have like autism or something, like not autism, but
and he's playing entirely of his own volition.
What? Okay,
it's not magic. The reason Neuralink works is because it's recording and decoding electrical signals from the brain.
What?
First, we calibrate the decoder by recording neural activity as Pager uses the joystick to move a cursor to targets presented on the screen. As he's playing this game, we are wirelessly streaming in real time firing rates from thousands of neurons to a computer.
Holy shit.
I figured it out.
Data, we calibrate the decoder by
new conspiracy theory, guys.
All right.
Elon Musk is an Illuminati puppet. They only use him because he's presentable sounding and looking. He has none of these ideas of his own. They're all fed to him.
This is...
Is that Joe Biden?
Right?
That's how they got him to say enough at the speeches and stuff. They put that in his head, and that's the best they could do still, is him incoherent.
Yeah. He's really a robot. He's a product of the AI.
Shit.
Oh my goodness. I just well, I'm out of a job, like, because they have robots, they've got that. They're not gonna need me for anything one day. I'm just gonna be.
They're not gonna need any of us one day. We're gonna be. I shit you not, guys. I shit you not. A cross between Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Wall-E.
Yeah, and then even then, they won't need us because still, like, some of us at that point, even then, can still speak out against stuff.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though.
With the chips.
Like, yeah, with the chips. But in, like, Wall-E, everybody's on, like, this big space cruise ship, basically. And they're all on these hover rascals, and they're all being fed like pleasing things to watch and eat, and they're just distracted. They're rich and they're fat, and they're too distracted to speak out against anything. Like they're just in it like that. Miguel, that's gonna be you when you go to Mars. So I'm just saying, bro.
I would say Wall-E would be like closest to like a Disney version of Brave New World, where everyone there was, if they get upset, they douse you with antidepressants and muscle relaxants, basically, and everything's for pleasure. There's no more marriage because that's stressful. There's no more jobs out of your comfort zone because that's too stressful. Everyone's already assigned, so it's just smooth
Change
sailing.
the language so no one's uncomfortable with anything you're saying or doing.
Yeah,
whatever.
so you don't get stressed out, so you're comfortable.
Yeah,
and that's a very scary thought, is being comfortable.
Well,
I like my beanbag chairs. All right, don't get me wrong. I like to eat my ding dongs in my underwear. Whatever. But we should all, at some point in your life, you need not confrontation, but you need challenge, so you don't atrophy and your brain doesn't just go to mush. Okay, that freaked me out. Mixed with everything we're talking about, that's worse than ghost.
I have stuff to add to that, Miguel. I want to keep freaking you out. But you notice that they keep talking about lowering the amount of hours you're going to be getting in a work week to be a full-time job. But we've got more AI taking over jobs at the same time. Like they're trying to say like, oh, well, in this country, like in Sweden, they only work this many hours and they're so happy and they're free and they can live their life, which is great because that is freedom. That is being able to live a life. Not being a slave to the system. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, now y'all are kind of easing up on it, but you're replacing it at the same time. Like, where does this go? Where does this end?
It's like taking a bone, or say like taking a shoe from a dog that you don't want them to chew on and replacing it with a bone so that it's not the shoe that they wanted, but it's still distracting them and teaching them different habits, like new habits.
And to go further on that, I mean, not saying that you are, the government, but when you do that, you think you're doing something good for the dog too. Like, oh, I should probably chew on this bone. It's better for its teeth. It's got that stuff, calcium. Chewing on a shoe, that's gross. And I think that's how they look at us. So we're just a dog with the shoe, and they want to give us the calcium bone, so we have cleaner teeth, which I actually probably could use. I could probably go to the dentist. But I should do it on my own volition. No one should take away my chewing shoe. Okay.
I want my chewy.
Okay, we got to go to the end of the world topics. Like we each pick our own. We got to do that one next, I think.
Okay.
For right now, before we get, because I don't want to give away too many more of these, because this is it's dark but very interesting. It makes me happy to hear. But I'll go into my paranormal for the last one for tonight. And I actually didn't go into an account of paranormal so much as it is the Warrens are full of shit. The Warrens, the Ed and Lorraine Warren, and a list of times they have been proven to be lying or just looking for money. And at first I was like, oh, this is really disappointing. But some of them are legitimate cases of paranormal activity where they just came in or like, you know what, let's make some money. Let's go ahead and make it rain a little bit here. We'll write some books.
Good movies.
Movies are great. But even them, they didn't come up with those ideas for the movies. A lot of writers that were near them, doing their journalistic work, or who the heck has the rights to them right now? Warner Brothers, to the Conjuring movies. Oh gosh, that's gonna help out with the story right now. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Sure.
Owns the
we'll say yes for safety's sake.
Not Conjuring House. Movies. My goodness. Okay, yeah, it is Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers owns the stories, and they actually don't have that many of the stories as you would think, because the last one they did was the Arnie something story, which is the book The Devil Made Me Do It. A case about a guy in Connecticut who his nephew or his little brother was possessed. The devil or the demons from him went into him, and then he ended up killing his landlord and trying to use that in a public court, a defense of demonic possession. But the judge is like, no, you're fucking dumb. This isn't going to happen. Something else. And for the most part, he got off with it. Basically, he got 5 years, or he got 10 years, got off in 5 years. And
It's crazy.
Ed and Lorraine Warren were pushed to the side, but they were used as character witnesses. The judge did not allow any of the clergy that were going to speak on his behalf as well. They were completely pushed to the side. But to this day, or until their passing, they completely said that it was a demonic possession. That's why he killed this guy. But if you go into the day's event, the landlord and Arnie were not really friends. They were always fighting. And that day they were drinking together and they got a little bit of a tiff over at a bar. And then later the landlord got even more drunk and came after Arnie. And that's actually what started that attack. His knife. And
so we could have just said self-defense and it would have been fine, but no.
That's actually what they ended up going with. It was a self-defense, and he got it down to manslaughter instead of murder. And then he was actually apparently he was a really good guy. Like, he wasn't a bad person. It's just in this particular case, you know, mixing booze, someone you don't like, and a knife is not a good idea. But even though there was two exorcisms performed, one on the nephew or brother, I cannot remember, I'm sorry, and then one on Arnie himself, there's just no real proof that there was any kind of possession happening other than he acted out of character. And it's like, that's not really a lot to go on. So that was kind of more of the Warrens throwing in their own spin, because by that time they were very popular and they were very much an authority in those kind of things. And that's kind of how they got the Annabelle doll to become the folklore it is now, because the case they have, the book written on it, or no, not a book, excuse me, it was an article in a magazine. My goodness, where is it? By an article by Joseph Laycock. I could not see the publication, but it was he's a journalist, and they basically give him pieces of a story, little pieces of a story that build the Annabelle lore. And Warner Brothers and Ed and Lorraine Warren themselves giving the tours and just kind of telling people over and over again how haunted it is. That's the buildup for Annabelle. Like, they really don't know that much about, like, why is she this possessed? What is going on here? The story of the nurse and her friends living at their house, that was a real thing. But before that, when in the movies where it goes into the orphanage, that was actually not in real life. That was not part of their story at all.
Okay.
So it's another prefabrication of theirs, in most parts, just to make money. Like, it all boils down to the money situation, which brings me to the last one that really blows my mind, because this is the case of the Enfield poltergeist, which there was actually a police officer who wrote a report saying that she saw activity happening in that house. She said she saw a chair go from one side of the room to the other. Well, it was just her and her partner looking at it, nobody else in the room. Like, there's multiple eyewitnesses over 2 years of accounts of this situation, the entire family being involved. Ed and Lorraine Warren were only there for 1 day. 1 day. That's their entire claim to that. But because they wrote it in their book, and they just said, oh yeah, so we helped out and we solved these poor English people's problems and we fixed their teeth. They
come fix mine.
They were able to fix that situation, though. They were able to turn it into a movie, even though they got rid of some of the better characters. Like, the main researchers in this case were from the British Psychical Research Department, or something. It's a very long-winded name that's been working since back when, like, Harry Houdini was trying to disprove mediums. Like, it's a very organization with a lot of history of people either for or against paranormal activity, but all of them doing very deep research for it on their own dime. It's all self-funded. But it was a guy named Fairchild and Maurice Gross. Yes, Maurice Gross. And these guys basically lived at that house for 2 years, and they basically get sidelined as like B characters in the movie itself. And it's annoying because their story was a lot better than what they actually told in the movie. Because there was no like Bill fight scenes between people and demons. It was literally paranormal activity at its finest and at its most real case that I'd ever heard of. Just blows your mind how big that one is. If you guys really want to jump off on it, I think the last podcast on the left did a really good deep dive on it. I think in like a 3-part episode, and it goes into from the very beginning to when the events started to dissipate towards the end. But like you can see the family, the ones that are still left, because a few of them passed along, how haunted they still are to this day, even though they haven't been happening since they were children. So it's crazy how good of a story that is. Yet it wasn't good enough to be a movie. They had to switch it up and have Ed and Lorraine Warren there playing guitar and being themselves, I guess. I don't know.
Goddamn hippies.
Yeah.
Being the heroes.
Oh, Gary's asked, did anything happen to the judge or the lawyer? No, nothing happened. There was no other events around them, I don't believe. I will look into that more, though, just in case, because I want to say no. I think they're totally fine. Mandy, hope you're doing well. Have you seen the movie May, one of my favorite doll horror? I have not seen that one. I'll have to check that out.
I've seen bits and pieces I've seen it, but it's been a long time. Like, I barely kind of remember it. Basically, like, this chick puts different people's body parts together to make a doll. And I guess it comes to life. I don't know. It's really crazy. I have to rewatch it.
Oh, I think I've seen the... Okay, I wanted to save it on my computer real quick. Okay, so I will watch that later. That looks very good. Mandy says you're both gorgeous ass F. I like that. And Miguel, I love your pool. I'd become a mermaid. Yeah, hop in whenever you want because it is awesome. It's freezing right now for some reason, even though it feels so wonderful out here. But once it's summer, once Bakersfield gets to that 110, 105, I'm just living in that thing. I love it.
Why are you trying to put that juju on us, Miguel?
It's gonna happen. Gonna happen as sure as the Amityville horrors are gonna happen again and again. It's gonna be there. But that is my take on the Warrens. I mean, they did do some good for the paranormal quest. I don't know if you will call it that. Just by being self-serving, because people paid more attention, which is always a good thing. It's like when they put elephants in cages, bad for the elephant, really good for elephant research. Yeah.
Sure.
I
go with that.
It's true. Okay. Did you guys go to a circus growing up? Like, did you see an elephant?
Yes, I love the circus.
You never saw? Oh, okay. So, Lauren, I'm
never
sorry.
Been to a circus, Lauren?
That's the best thing ever. I could tell you I guarantee you right now, if I never saw an elephant in person from, a circus or a zoo or anything like that, I wouldn't give a shit about elephants. I'd be like, the fuck do I care about this giant thing with a big old nose coming at me? Go let them all go extinct. But seeing them in person, I'm like, nah, keep Dumbo alive. You keep him safe, all right? Much different. Oh my goodness. But they should not be caged up. But that's the first step of people realizing elephants are a thing. Like, you would never see them if you just live in America without them being brought over here.
I mean, unfortunately, it is true. I mean, animals, it's so horrible. But we know a lot about them because they've been in cages and researched and experimented on and all that stuff.
But we don't need to anymore. We don't need to.
Yeah. They're not in cages on animal cracker boxes anymore. They're free.
I know.
That was like, wow.
I still bite their heads off.
And make the other ones watch, huh? Do you line them up and go, this is your friend. Do you want to be next?
I'm going to bite your head off. Lauren sitting at the kitchen table biting the heads off, and Joey's sitting in the corner like, oh, God, she's doing it again. Oh.
Like drowning in the milk. It's like,
Tell me your government secret.
Waterboarding.
Joke's on you. It's acid. It's melting your head and making it soft. Yum, yum, yum.
We got to get out of here. We can't go this far into it. Mandy, you're absolutely right.
I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
Me too. I haven't eaten today. I'm sorry.
Let's get out of here then, guys. Y'all have a great night, guys. Please follow
everyone.
Go on to YouTube. Check it out there. We are working on bringing the Patreon back to its former glory. We will fix that, guys. And it is getting very close to summer pretty soon, so maybe we'll plan some stuff out for that as well. I'll have a great night. I think a Doomsday episode is coming next. I think that would be I think that would be really fun. But everybody out there, have a great one. # free animal crackers. All right, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.